So last year, the Courier Mail here in Queensland published several articles which, in my opinion, glamorized OnlyFans. They were framing it as a legitimate career path for young Queenslanders. They highlighted success stories, talked about income, presented online sexual content creation as empowerment, which I spoke about last year. I did several episodes on it because, to be honest, I was just disgusted in the way they framed these articles, presenting them as these legitimate career choices. And today, this very day, what is it, the 6th of the 7th here in Queensland where I am, it's Monday, the 6th of the 7th, 2026. The same newspaper has published a new article warning that Australian schoolgirls are being groomed into the porn pipeline through social media. So, which is it, Courier Mail? Is OnlyFans a glamorous career, or is it a dangerous pipeline pulling young girls into exploitation? The Courier Mail can't have it both ways. I'm Jay Fallon, and this is the Slippery Slope podcast.
Got my eyes straight ahead, got my head in the game. With the red light on, I'm just waiting for the change. Keep my head down low.
So let's lay out some facts clearly. Okay, the Courier Mail promotes OnlyFans as a new generation career, celebrating young women making money online. Several articles going down this line of thought, promoting it. They frame sexual content creation as normal, viable, even admirable. Then fast forward to July this year, today, the Courier Mail warns that schoolgirls are being lured into selling their bodies online. They describe a porn pipeline that starts on social media and ends on platforms like OnlyFans. These articles contradict each other completely. One glamorizes the industry, the other condemns its consequences. It's not journalism. It's moral opportunism. They're like the Courier Mail is behaving like a reed swaying in the breeze. They're bending whichever way the cultural wind blows. They have no standards, no consistency, and no moral backbone. They're not protecting young people. They're not taking a stand. They're not offering clarity. They're simply chasing whatever narrative they think will sell today. Last year, the empowerment angle sold. Today, the danger angle sells. This is the instability of a media organization that has abandoned truth for trends. So, this is the real damage, the way I see it. It's the deeper problem. They helped create the very pipeline they're now pretending to expose. When mainstream media normalizes sexual content creation, it lowers cultural guardrails, it glamorizes exploitation, it reframes prostitution as empowerment. And OnlyFans is just another form of prostitution. It tells young people, this is normal, this is success. It creates the environment where grooming thrives. You cannot promote OnlyFans one year and then act shocked when young girls are drawn into it the next year. That's not journalism, Courier Mail. That's hypocrisy. So, look. When I was in policing, I've spoken about a number of times my career in Queensland Police. When I was in policing, I saw firsthand how exploitation pipelines work. And here's the truth: they rarely start with a criminal lurking in the shadows. They start with culture. They start with messaging. They start with what young people see online, with what we all see online, what we hear from influencers, and what we even read and see and hear in mainstream media. When a newspaper like the Courier Mail publishes a glossy piece celebrating online fans as a career, they're not just reporting, They're shaping expectations. They're telling our young people this is normal. This is a viable way to make an income. This is acceptable. This is success. And once you normalize the behavior, uh, predators don't have to work as hard. The culture does the grooming for them. By the time an actual predator enters the picture, the groundwork is already done. The guardrails have already been lowered. The idea of selling your body online has already been framed as empowerment. So when the Courier Mail pretends to be shocked today, shocked that schoolgirls are being lured into selling their bodies online, I don't buy it. They helped build the environment where this could happen. They helped soften the ground. They really helped normalize the behavior. This is why cultural messaging matters. This is why media responsibility matters. And this is why hypocrisy in journalism is so dangerous. Dangerous. It's what's that phrase that Ben Shapiro uses? It's journalisming. This is why it's so dangerous. Remember, scripture speaks directly into this moment. In James 1:8, it says, "A double minded man is unstable in all his ways." That's the Courier Mail, in my opinion. Double minded, unstable. One year they're promoting sexual content creation, the next year they're condemning the consequences. It's moral confusion dressed up as journalism. They're just like a reed swaying in the breeze. That's what the Courier Mail is doing, bending towards whatever sells today. Remember that scripture, Isaiah 5:20. Woe to those who call evil good and good evil. Last year, the Courier Mail called this evil practice good. They were glamorizing OnlyFans. Today, they're calling it evil, pretending to be shocked by the pipelines, which, in my opinion, they helped create. This is moral inversion. This is what happens when truth is abandoned, and this is what happens when culture replaces conviction. So let's finish this off. Here's what we need to understand. Okay, clearly, media outlets are not moral authorities. They follow trends and not truth. They will promote whatever sells, even if it harms young people. Cultural messaging shapes behavior. When you normalize sexual content creation, you open the door to exploitation. When you glamorize OnlyFans, you make grooming easier. When you celebrate selling your body online, you make it harder for young people to recognize danger. We cannot be passive consumers of media. We cannot let newspapers tell us what is normal. Online newspapers, physical newspapers. We cannot let culture define morality. We need discernment. We need clarity. We need conviction to stand up for what is right and not just what society thinks says is right one day and changes its mind the next. You need conviction to stand for truth, because truth doesn't change. If we don't stand firm, we become just like that reed that I said the Courier Mail is, just swaying in the breeze, bending toward whatever the world tells us is popular. The Courier Mail cannot promote OnlyFans one year and condemn its consequences the next. That's not journalism, that's hypocrisy. They are the reed just swaying in the breeze, bending toward whatever sells. This is exactly why we need truth. We need discernment. We need courage to stand up for moral values. Because without them, our culture continues to slide down the slippery slope. Anyway, this is all just my opinion. I'm Jay Fallon. Thanks for listening to The Slippery Slope.
Got my eyes straight ahead, got my head in the game. With the red light on, I'm just waiting for the change. Keep my head down low.